Hello again. I'm certain this is going to blow you guys away, hopefully. So this is the Union Pacific 4843 that was very recently released by Smokebox Simulations. This is an add-on DLC for Train Simulator 2015, and I must say what an excellent locomotive this is. Today I've got something special. I'm actually going to be driving this locomotive up a hill in manual mode with the advanced scripting. So this is going to be very interesting. I'll try not to run out of steam, both voice-wise and locomotive-wise. So I'm just going to get set up here inside the cab, and you'll notice immediately that they've done an excellent job on this add-on. I'm actually running the Sherman Hill route, which the scenarios are based on for this add-on locomotive. But I'm just running a quick drive mode at the moment. And again, this is advanced scripting. I'm going to be manually firing this locomotive. And I'm going to be running with advanced scripting, as I mentioned earlier as well. So I'm just turning on the dynamo here, which is basically our steam powered generator. I've got 30 volts. I'm just going to flip on our little control center here. There is actually a name for this, but just bear with me. I've only had this locomotive a few days and I'm getting to grips with it. This is the fireman's side. So here's the steam manifold. I've just turned on the control valve. This is the atomizer. You've got your little peephole here for the fire to allow you to view the the oil fire. And I'm just going to make sure the feed water shutoff is on, and that then enables our feed water valve and its associated gauge to work. Here is the sight glass, one of the sight glasses. I'm just doing a blow down. Now, because I'm running the advanced script version, it actually models things like clogging, soot and all that sort of thing. So if you're not careful, you can run out of water and you can pop your cylinders and all that sort of thing if you're not careful as well. So I'm just blowing down all of the sight glasses. I'm going to turn off our blow off, shut off cocks, turn them on I should say, activate them if you will. Our feed water shut off is now enabled, so it's not shut off. This is our oil regulator, and there is our damper as well. So I probably won't have time to explain a lot of this, but we'll see how we go when we get underway. This is the atomizer, as I mentioned earlier, which actually injects steam from the oil regulator. So the oil comes from the oil regulator into the firebox. From there it gets atomized, and you can control the amount of atomization using that knob. And it just depends on how much load you're running. You'd start off at about 25 psi when you're standing still, and then as you accelerate and put more load on, you probably get up to, let's see, you probably get up to about 130-ish or 150 even psi. So we'll just turn on the blower a bit while we're staying stationary. Here's our boiler pressure, 300 psi in this beast. There it is again on this side. We'll just open the rear doors here in the cab because there's a oil temperature gauge back here. It's about 50-ish degrees Fahrenheit. We need to be at about 95 or 97 I think it is. So it's at about 50. So if we turn on the tank heater, we'll get that warmed up. So you could, oh, our fire's gone out. That's not good. Turn on the burner blowback and increase the oil regulator to get the fire going again. There we go. This can happen several times during running as well. And just turn off the blowback when you're finished once the fire's back on. I'm just quickly running through this now so we can get underway, but I'll try and explain more about why I'm doing what I am soon. using the sludge removers here. Okay, so here's our cylinder cocks per usual in the steam locomotive. You've got your master and your actual cock knob as well. Funny as that sounds. Here's your sand bucket. So we're looking at our smoke now. It's actually pretty grey, so we're doing alright. But if it ever gets really black and you get soot build up, you can click on the bucket to pour sand in and try and clear that out. Anyway, let's just get going. This is going to be an interesting run today because I'm going to be running a 1.5% grade. Just turning on the headlight. There it is. So yes, a 1.5% grade, so that's pretty heavy. We've got 12 cars behind us, so that's going to be interesting as well. Anyway, let's get going. So I'm going to warm the cylinders up. I've got the cylinder cocks open, just going to open the regulator here, get some steam into the chests and the cylinders. You can see here we've got our back pressure gauge. The range on this side is the power range, and on this side is the vacuum side. So if you've got the throttle closed during running, you'll actually see the needle pop off into the vacuum side and actually slow you down. But when you start giving more throttle, you'll see it on the right hand side there, anything past the 0. Anyway, I'll go into that a little bit more later. We can't forget the air pump. That runs certain things as well, compressors, sanders, things like that. Quick trick I found, turn it on slightly, not too much. I'm just looking at the brake gauge here as well. Brake gauges, I should say. Oh, but check this out, the whistle. Isn't that just awesome? I'm going to take full advantage of that during the run. Okay, just turning on the front and rear sanders here, as well as the bell. Just going to add a little bit more steam. It's very easy to slip the wheels in this, and you can also cause damage by slipping the wheels too much as well. So you can see there all the excess steam is leaving the cylinders. Should be getting nice and warm. Just gonna release the brakes. Whoops, normally do the loco brake first, then the train brake. So this uses a fully fledged air brake system. So you've got the brake pipe pressure, brake cylinder, main reservoir and equalizing reservoir as well. It's very possible to lose all your air if you don't manage it well also. Alright, just open all the windows up as well, the remainders. Got a very interesting little display here. I'm set it up to display the acceleration, and yes, we are moving. So you can see there the pulsation in the needle at low speeds. This gauge is a good indicator of just how much power we've got going into the cylinders at any one time. I'm going very easy on the throttle right now. You just have to be very mindful when you close the cylinder cocks as well, not to get more wheel slippage. You can see the pulsations there from the smoke box as well, from the firebox. Very cool. Alright, let's close up the cylinder cocks. Normally it takes about 12 strokes and then you just close them up, and now we've got full power. Look at that. The higher the reading on that gauge, the more pressure you've got in your cylinders or your steam chest. I'm not exactly sure which. So yeah, the higher the number, the more chance you could slip the wheels, but the more pulling power you've got as well. Just turn off the bell. The more steam that you obviously use also. So let's turn off the blower now, and we've got to do some things as a fireman, which is increase the oil regulator, feed more oil, and start atomizing that oil a bit better as well. So we just turn up the atomizer setting, and the smoke there looks nice and grey, which is what we want. You don't want black or bluish smoke either. Okay, awesome. So we can start to notch back now on the reverser. This is similar to changing gears in a car. What you normally do is once you're up to speed, you put it on to full throttle, and then you just use your your reverser to control how much power you want. And that's where you use the back pressure gauge as well, which is a gauge towards the top there. I'm just turning off the sanders just quickly. Going to put the brake into running position. You can see I'm just inching further forward on the throttle, opening the throttle a bit more. Isn't she lovely? The animations on this are just superb as well. There's something like 80 animations, I could be wrong, but yeah, it's something crazy like that. There's heaps of animations going on, and smoke effects, particle effects. Whoops, forgot the whistle there. Bit late. Alright, so we're leaving Cheyenne and we're heading up the hill to Sherman Hill. If you've only just joined, we're going to be looking at 1.5% grades when we really get into it. So I've probably done this run about 3 or 4 times so far. This is probably my 3rd time actually. And the earlier times I did actually manage to run out of steam. So let's see how we go this time. Just going to turn up the feed water valve there. This actually inputs more water into the boiler, and we're just going to quickly check on our oil temperature. It's inching its way up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what we want. We'll keep the heater going for now. There's a lot to do, as you can tell. I can't hardly catch up with what needs to be done. Alright, you can see there that there's slightly bluish smoke, but still mostly grey, I guess. If the smoke is too blue, it means your atomizer setting is probably a little bit too high. But we'll run with what we've got for the moment, and we'll adjust things as we get on further. So you can see that we've actually got too much steam at the moment, so our safety valves are popping off, but that's fine. Better to have too much than not enough. Looking at a 0.8% grade at the moment, which is basically hardly anything really. And we're doing about 30 miles an hour. So just to be clear, this is not a high-speed run or high-speed test. This is more just about learning how to operate your locomotive in expert mode with no fireman and with advanced scripting. So seem to be doing okay so far. Again, that smoke is a bit blue, so yeah, we'll see what we can do about that. You can quill the whistle as well by holding space for the whistle, then pressing enter and holding enter to get that distinctive sound. Anyway, just going to increase the regulator towards 100% now, and we'll probably leave it there for most of the run. Okay, now we'll adjust our reverser to adjust the power that we need basically during the run. So we've got about 15 showing on the back pressure gauge, which is okay. Now you'll notice there that from the smokestack, the smoke's looking a little bit blue. It's got a blue tinge to it. This generally means that the atomizer is running too high, and it is basically atomizing the fuel too much. So let's see if we can fix that. Just going to reduce the atomizer a bit. See that? The blue tinge has now disappeared, mostly, and we're now looking at a more sort of grey tinge in the smoke, which is what we want. That's exactly what we want. So blue smoke, reduce the atomizer. And you can see there the lubricator, the little red handle there towards the right hand side, which is whirling around. That's lubricating the running gear. Absolutely fantastic. Alright, our pressure's going down a little bit, so let's have a look what's wrong. Atomizer seems okay. We've got, oh, okay, our fire's gone out. So turn on the blower, blow back, increase the oil regulator, and fire goes back on. Lucky we caught that, because if you spend too much time just looking around, see that we've actually lost pressure in the meantime. So hopefully that's going to start rising again. And you can see our boiler's almost full, so we'll reduce our feed water setting, and the gauge on the right will reduce as well. Take that down to about half and see how we go. Alright, here we are. The hill has started. So we got pretty much 100% on the regulator. I'll just inch that up as far as I can, and now we're just going to push forward on the reverser, and we're going to squeeze some more power out of it. Here we go. Feel the change in the sound. You can see there it's sort of flickering, 0101. That means that we're actually accelerating. If a little minus occurs, if you see a minus flashing, then you know that you're actually slowing down. So that's a very handy gauge, that. The acceleration is actually in miles an hour per second, for those who are interested. Got some traffic on the line today. We're working hard, as you can see from the firebox there, flashing away. So I should mention, for those who don't already know, this is an oil-fired locomotive as opposed to a coal-fired locomotive. So it actually uses fuel oil and burns that to generate the steam rather than burning coal. The good thing about having an oil-fired locomotive is that it responds very quickly to pressure changes. So just going to blow down the gauge there, because it can actually get clogged up if you're not careful and show you the wrong reading. And then next thing you know, you have an empty boiler, which is not good. Alright, we're just going to open up the damper a bit more. The setting on the damper should match the oil regulator, I've read. But we seem to be doing alright so far. So last I checked, we were on a 1% grade, I think it was. Let's have a look. Yes, 1%. Awesome. Okay, we're getting up to 40 miles an hour as well. Awesome. Okay. Pressure's doing good. Coming onto an industrial area. Just going to quill the whistle and turn on the bell here. Always good practice in an industrial area. Again, I'm not operating strictly by the book. This is only the first few runs I've had. This is more of a first look as well for this locomotive. I could be giving it more power, but I'm just taking it easy for the moment. Waiting for the hill to begin. Here we go. And you can tell I'm very excited about this. I've only just gotten back into Train Simulator actually. I haven't played it for a very long time. I just haven't really seen the need with the previous steam locomotives that were on offer. But this locomotive, along with some of the Mesh Tools locomotives, just going to ring the whistle there. So as I was saying, this locomotive along with the Mesh Tools locomotives really delivers. I'm one for absolute realism. I hate the feeling of fakeness and automatic this and that. I like to actually get in there and do things, so this locomotive so far has been brilliant. Now as you can see, we're getting up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so we'll reduce the heat on the tank heater, otherwise we'll have oil that's too hot, which we don't want, because that introduces its own problems also. Alright, while we're here, we'll just quickly check over the fireman settings. You can see that the smoke's getting a little bit dark, but not doing too bad. Seems to be increasing in speed also. Just going to turn off the bell now that we're out of the industrial area. I just admire the locomotive. What a fantastic locomotive it is. Again, I'm one for realism, so I only ever run this on advanced scripting with no expert fireman. I do all the firing manually. I just find it quite rewarding. You can actually get blue smoke coming out of the firebox there as well, if you haven't set up your atomizer correctly. I think if you've got too much oil regulator on and not enough atomizer, you'll get blue smoke from the smoke box, because your oil will drip down basically and burn off that way. Just going to try reducing the oil regulator a little bit here, to see if I can get rid of some of this black smoke. I think it's burning in excess of oil, perhaps. It's worth noting that the changes don't happen instantaneously. They do take a few seconds to actually take effect. Our boiler's running a bit low, so let's turn on the feed water again. There is actually a live injector, but the feed water serves its purpose for the most part. I'm happy to be corrected on any of these procedures too, by the way. See the minus symbol is showing up there, so we're actually slowing down, and we can hear it too. Let's get on the reverser a little bit more, squeeze some more power, and because of that, let's increase the oil regulator and atomizer accordingly. Almost keeping up with traffic here. I must say it's a pretty reasonable grade, so we're doing pretty well considering. I'm not going to be doing 100 miles an hour during this video anyway. Pretty happy with the way that the smoke is looking as well. It's mostly grey, so we seem to be firing okay. She's working hard, but I think the worst is yet to come actually. We haven't hit the maximum grade yet, so I'm just trying to take it easy with the steam consumption. I could actually probably squeeze more power, but I don't want to deplete the boiler. Alrighty, the boiler's hardly filling up, so the feed water is not doing its job as much as I would have liked. So here we've got our water valve and live steam injector. I absolutely love the realism. It's what I've been waiting for a very long time in Train Simulator. The steam locomotives, as I mentioned before, just never used to cut it for me. Oh, here we go, 1.5%. Alright, we're on the grade, ladies and gentlemen. So from here on out, it's going to be a long slog. But I'm confident we'll make it. The last few times I've actually stalled on these grades, so I don't intend to do that this time. So feel free to use this as a tutorial video if I do somehow make it. Alright, you can see there that the live injector is helping out the feed water, pumping more water into the boiler. Just got to keep an eye out on that too. You don't want it to be too full. We're holding our speed. We're doing alright so far. We've got about 2 hours worth of sand, by the way, on the locomotive. But we don't need it right now. But it does come in very handy when you're starting out, obviously. Don't put your head out there right now. Yes, so we've got about 12 Union Pacific cars behind us today. So not a bad sort of load, I guess, to be pulling up the grade. You can see the flashing from the firebox. She's pulling hard, she is. And you can see our smoke's gone a bit black now. I think we're burning a little bit too much oil. I love that whistle. What an awesome whistle. Okay, we're coming up to a little siding area up ahead, I believe. We're picking up speed. And as you can see there, whoop, we're almost got a full boiler, so let's quickly turn off the live steam injector. Make sure that's off, and also the feed water, because that will continue to pump water in as well, which we don't want right now. You can see there that the sight glass is almost topped off. The middle gauge here is the trouble gauge, I call it. As soon as anything appears in there, you know that you're in trouble. So I'm just going to blow this down and just make sure we've got an accurate reading once again. We do. Yeah, we're pretty much topped off water-wise, so we don't need any water for a while now. Okay, just checking our settings on the fireman side. Smoke's still mostly grey, a little bit black, but that's fine. Whoop, crossing. Just going to do a quick sludge removal here. We're probably fine, but anyway. Just going to show you guys. And here's what it looks like going past. You wouldn't blow the sludge out for this long, surely, but just in case, you never know. Good blow down every now and then doesn't hurt. Alright. Things are going well so far with maintaining our pressure. We've got a good power output going. We're holding our speed, if not gaining. We're where we want to be right now. 35 miles an hour, or just a little bit more than that. Atomizer's on 100 psi. We've got enough water. It's dropping slightly, so we might as well just increase the feed water a little bit more. It's very slow to react, so we'll give that a few minutes. Okay, so our temperature's dropping a little bit, so we must have turned down the heater a little bit too much last time. So we'll just come back here and turn up the tank heater a little bit more. We're within the ballpark anyway. Smoke's looking okay. 300 psi on the boiler gauge. Excellent. Just going to blow down these glasses a bit more. Again, the first few times I did run without blowing down the glasses, and they'd actually got stuck and full of sludge, and it can get a bit problematic to clear out when that happens. Again, this is on the script, advanced script mode with manual firing. 35 miles an hour, comfortable speed. Again, we don't want to go too crazy. Locomotive is actually rated up to 110 miles an hour, I believe, at the design limit. And we're actually gaining speed very slowly, as you can tell there by the flicker. We're almost doing 1 mile an hour per second in acceleration. Not quite, but almost. The important thing is we're gaining. And we're holding our pressure, which is basically what we want. So we're inching up to 40 miles an hour again. The track limit down here is only about 50 anyway, I believe. Look at that, the pressure's dropping now, so let's have a look. Fire's nice and grey. Let's turn up the oil regulator just a little bit. And we'll atomize a little bit more to match. Still dropping. What's going on here? I think we might have too much power on. Might have to pull back on the power. Sorry about that. And we'll just watch the gauge to ensure, or we'll just pull back a little bit more and see if the boiler pressure recovers. Interesting. We might be running into some trouble after all. It's a bit too early to say, but let's hope she recovers. I'm firing correctly as far as I can see. Our smoke is nice and grey. We're working hard. We don't have any blue smoke coming out of the firebox, which is what we want. Smoke's looking good from here. Sorry, I just had to do it. Alright. We are manually fired, advanced scripting, running up a hill, and we're losing pressure. That's what's happening at the moment. Oh. We're losing a bit of speed, but I'm reducing, I thought I reduced the power, but we've recovered our pressure. Excellent. Alright, let's get back into the throttle, into the regulator. I'm sorry, the reverser. Alright, smoke's looking good. Nice and grey. No blue smoke that I can see anywhere. You can see there the white smoke from the front of the locomotive is actually from the generators, or the dynamo. And you can see the blow-off safety valves towards the rear also popping off there. Alright, we've got some pretty hefty power on at the moment, and we're slowly gaining speed again up this hill. Up we go. Yep, power gauge is on pretty high, inching our way up to 40 miles an hour again. Again, if this was a level, we'd be at 50 to 60 miles an hour quite easily. It's just for the purposes of this grade that we're actually running a little bit slower. We've recovered all our pressure. We've got too much boiler pressure, even. And things are looking good. Doing 40 miles an hour. Got a slight curve coming out. Should be fine. Not a bad little scenery pack, this one. A little bit sparse, but I consider it to be excellent for some of the high-speed runs. And you can just see the World Charts valve gear pumping away there. Hope I'm saying that right. Oh, we're losing pressure again. Fire still going. Atomizer's looking good. Got enough water. What could it be? What could it be? Could just be we've got too much power on. So let's just inch back on the reverser. Quite a change playing this simulator versus London Underground though. How about that, huh? For one thing, at least the inclines are counted and calculated. Smoke's looking excellent, nice and grey. No black smoke to be seen. We're popping off again because we've got an excess of pressure. Let's get some more water going. Just check on our oil temperature first. Yeah. I think we're a little bit on the warm side, so let's close up this tank feeder a little bit. Pounding our way up the hill. Just gonna blow down the glass again. Get into the habit of doing this. You only really need to do it every half hour or 1 hour, but just depends how dirty you've been running as well. And again, the sludge removers. I'm doing this more as a preventative measure than anything else at the moment. Just make sure we run clean as far as we can. Better to avoid problems than to try and deal with them when they happen. Just going to close up the cylinder cock master here so we don't accidentally turn on the cylinder cocks. we won't be needing them now, probably for a very long time. Right, doing well, doing well. Fire's on. Atomizer's a bit high, but it's fine. 35 miles an hour. Try and squeeze a bit more power, shall we? We've got an excess of pressure anyway, so let's do it. See if we can get to at least 40 miles an hour and get the show on the road a bit more. Storming this hill at the moment. So we've got 12 cars behind us. We're dropping pressure. I've asked too much. Sorry, have to pull back again. I could probably be firing this thing a little bit harder as well. But for the moment I'm just learning the ropes, so... I suppose I've got to open the oil regulator to the max and just see how we go that way, but just going to take things slowly for the time being. Still got the power on pretty hard, almost at 40 miles an hour. We're sort of just holding. Okay. It's a bit of a challenge grabbing that whistle when it's shaking around that way. Oh, fire's gone out. So fire keeps going out. This does happen every now and then. And I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if it's more just the way it is. Again, feel free to chime in the comments. We're recovering our pressure anyway. Our fire's going again. Signals are all good. Coming out to a little siding area for real this time. I don't think we did last time, or did we? I was too busy. It really keeps you on your toes, operating the fireman controls and running in advance scripting. But just turn on the bell. Going around this curve, keep the bell on for the time being. We just had a slight downhill that got us up to 40 miles an hour, which is a nice comfortable speed. Not too crazy. Our motion's not going to be ripped off anytime soon. Okay, we're just inching past 40 miles an hour. Which is good. Got a 1.5 grade still on. The grade does not relent. So let's keep her fired and keep her watered up and see if we can beat this hill. I don't want to stall and I don't want to lose pressure. And I think we've found the sweet spot for our temperature, which is great. Run through this switch and turn out. Alright, we're recovering pressure, or are we losing pressure? 50 mile an hour limit in this area. We're doing just over 40 miles an hour. Pretty happy with that. Just gonna throttle back a bit to save our pressure, which we seem to be dropping. And we should be recovering now. There we go. Whoa! That was a bit of a jolt there. The rest of our carriage is following along nicely. Our 12-car consist of Union Pacific carriages. Around this slight curve. Nice open country out here. A nice open track as well. So yes, I very much recommend this locomotive. Very much recommend running in expert mode as well, or advanced mode with manual firing, if you're into that sort of thing. Our smoke's gone black again, so I'm not doing my job quite as well as I should be. Let's increase the atomizer a bit. Actually, we'll reduce it and reduce our oil regulator. We could be pumping too much oil into it. See if that greys out the smoke a bit. Hopefully it will. So yes, I think this Steam Locomotive has brought me back to Train Simulator. This one, along with the Mesh Tools DLCs, which I'll be featuring very soon as well. I'm just going to dump some sand in there and see if we can clear out this soot. It's just looking a bit dark. Got the power on. Our water's looking good. Pressure's looking good also. Smooth sailing, folks. We haven't stalled yet up this hill. The challenge now is to add a few more cars, I think, and just see what we can do. Because 12 cars is fairly reasonable. Again, I'm only learning the ropes, so just want to put a reasonable load on the back, nothing too crazy. Just looking at the centipede tender here, which is loaded with oil and water. It's got 14 wheels on it. How about that? Crazy. You can see our smoke's gone nice and grey again. Which is excellent. And just looking back there to the end of our consist, it looks like we're firing this pretty damn well at the moment. We are slowing a bit. Seems like it. Yep, we are. You can see that minus symbol there on the display there, electronic display. Like I said, the grade is unrelenting, but we seem to be doing alright. We're pulling hard. You can tell from the flashes. Minus symbol's mostly gone off the electronic LCD display there. And like I said, there's no blue smoke coming from the Smokebox, which is good. So we're burning our fuel nicely. We are dropping pressure though. Look at that. We're pulling hard. See what we can do here. We've got enough water. Yeah, we're dropping pretty hard on our pressure. Let's just notch back on the reverser. Reduce the amount of steam that we're using. Hopefully it'll bounce back. Again, the good thing with the oil-fired locomotives, or this one in particular, is that the boiler pressure responds quick. So you don't have to wait for it as much like you would with the coal-fired locomotive. And the amount of scripting that's on this locomotive with the advanced scripting is just unbelievable. Just to increase our smoke. It's looking a bit blue there actually. Our atomizer's probably on a little bit too high. I'm just going to reduce that down a bit. Uh-oh, we're slowing down. We're slowing down. Is this the end? I think this is the end. And do what I can to save our steam and retain our speed. We're on a 1.5% grade at the moment in this manually fired locomotive with advanced scripting, and you're on your own, or I'm on my own, trying to figure this thing out. Smoke's nice and grey again. Pressure's coming back. Okay, very good. This is only a minor technical difficulty. We'll be back up to speed in no time, I'm sure. Pressure's increasing, so I'm going to milk it for what it's worth. I'm going to pull this thing up. Come on. Down to 25 miles an hour, or about 26, 27, but we're climbing again. We just momentarily lost our boiler pressure for a bit. This grade is quite heavy, so just doing what I can here. Smoke's gone grey again, which is good. Pulling hard. Come on. You can see the back pressure gauge there is on pretty high. Our boiler pressure is recovering. She's pulling hard, you can just feel it in the trying to squeeze ever more power. And we are increasing speed ever so slowly. .5% grade, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, increase our feed water a bit. The boiler's getting a little bit low. Smoke's grey. Maybe just the faintest tinge of blue, perhaps not. We're starting to pick up again. We're back in the game. Crossing coming up. A bit late, I think, but oh well. Oh, we're really dropping pressure. Holy smokes! The fire's still on. So let's pull back on our reverser. Notch back, try and save this steam. Oh, everything's gone. What a disaster. Come on. We're losing pressure. Smoke's gone blue. Let's increase the fire. Increase the oil. Hope that gives us a bit more steam. We should see in just a few seconds. Turn off this blasted bell. Oh no. We're looking good there, now we've just dropped again. I'm determined not to lose my steam pressure. Get the blower on just a slight amount. I don't think that's going to help really. Oil temperature's good. Come on. Atomize. There we go. We're down to just under 25 miles an hour again. We're recovering again. And we're recovering fast as well. Buford. Destination is Sherman Hill. Coming up to a little area again, might as well hit the bell. Alright, we're back up 300 psi, let's go, let's go. To pour on the power a bit more. Yeah, watch this thing accelerate. 2 miles an hour per second of acceleration. Back up to 30 miles an hour pretty much. Got the power on hard. Boiler pressure's good, water level's good. Picking up speed again from the sounds of things. Smoke's nice and grey. Turn off the bell. We're eating into our boiler reserves pretty hard at the moment. As soon as it's back, I'm right back into the carburetor. Figure of speech, of course, there is no carburetor, I think. Okay, let's notch back a bit, save our steam. We are doing, look at that, look at that view. Yes, we're doing over 45 miles an hour at the moment. I think we've beaten the grade. I think that's it. Woohoo! Yeah, we're doing 45 miles an hour. Inching towards 50. Yeah, wherever the grade. We're back to 0.8%. Okay. Got a curve coming up. I'm not going to run all the way through to the end of this line. I'm just going to go up to Sherman Hill and stop. Just wanted to climb this grade on manual firing to see how I went this time around. Seems I did alright. This is only the first few tries I've had, so might try coupling some more cars and see how we go. Now that I've got the hang of things a little bit. Yeah, we really are picking up speed. It feels like 50. It is 50. And start easing off on the throttle whistle. Okay. Got an excess of steam pressure and an excess of speed. I'd love to just go flat out with this thing right now, but got a few curves in front of us, and soon we'll be starting down a grade as well, so got a slight blue tinge there. Yeah, that's quite a blue tinge actually. I think our atomizer's on too hard, too high. Going easy on the throttle. Let's turn the atomizer down quite a bit to about 50-ish. Turn down the oil regulator. We won't need as much steam generation right now. We're going to be stopping soon anyway, so rounding the curve here. Still doing almost 45 miles an hour. Okay, that's it. That's the sign for Sherman Hill, I'm sure. There it is, Sherman Hill. We made it. So from here on, I believe the route actually just turns into a downgrade all the way through. So just going to back off on the throttle and watch our back pressure gauge there just fall towards 0. Reduce our reverser a bit. Okay, we've got no power on. Gonna get on the brake a little bit. Put in a bit of reduction there. Whoop, we were in the vacuum side, which actually helps for your braking side of things, but just gonna get back into the neutral zone. We've got enough pressure, we don't have to worry about pressure. We're gonna stop now. So that's it, we made it. Just gonna jam on the loco brake. Whoops. Check that out. Get off that brake. See the sparks fly. And stop. So that's it. I hope it's been enjoyable. Thanks for watching. And hopefully there'll be a few more videos soon.